You're still watching The Conversation on Lagos Television. First conversation this morning is on that call for parliamentary system of government. Presently, as we speak, we practice the presidential system of government, and people have actually complained at different fora that the presidential system is quite expensive and it's not really working for the interest of the country, and there's this call that we should actually return to parliamentary system of government, which we had practiced before now. There's a particular bill before members of House of Reps as we speak, and the proposed legislation bill is titled "A Bill for an Act to Alter the Provisions of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended, to provide for the office of the Prime Minister as head of government and the office of President as head of state." And that's essentially what parliamentary system of government is all about. But we have a lawyer in the house. Barrister Kehinde Abudu is a lawyer and principal partner, Reliance and Partners, and is going to educate us more on what parliamentary system is all about and what we stand to gain as a country if indeed we embrace what members of House of Reps are proposing, that we should go back to parliamentary system of government. Kehinde Abudu, it's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, as we speak presently, we practice presidential system of government, which is fashioned towards what's the practice in the United States of America. The major essence, or one of the major essence of this program is for us to also educate the public. Can you define the presidential system of government for us so that we can actually compare with what the members of House of Reps are proposing?
Well, the presidential system of government, which is what we practice now, means about power concentrated, at the top, and you have different states wherein we have a president, the vice president, the legislature, and all that. The president who appoints the ministers and all that. But you found out that over the years, this particular type of government, which is supposed to be beneficial to the people, have not really been favorable to the citizenry because of the cost with which it's been carried out. You understand? Like the president now, you have office of a president, office of a vice president, the money with which you use in managing that office, fleets of cars and all that, which ordinarily is not really what we want. After which you still go to the two green chambers and the red chambers, which is the Senate and the Reps, money there again and all that. It's expensive, if you ask me. So those are the demands of the presidential system of government that we're running. Mm-hmm. So them asking us to go into the parliamentary system of government, I think, even though it has its own demerits too, but it's a bit better than the presidential system of government. But caution should be taken. Mm-hmm. And it's like, are we really ready to go into parliamentary system of government? Because the last time we had it was in 1960 to 66. And how it works is this. In the parliamentary system of government, you have the legislatures, they will have their elections into the House. And inside the House, they will now elect the head of government, which is the Prime Minister, yeah, and the head of state.
Which is the president.
Which is the president. But it now depends on the kind of political atmosphere decline. That depends on that depends on how the head of state is being elected. Because if, for instance, we have the constitutional monarchy, like we have in the UK, okay, wherein you have the king, doesn't need election and all that, and we have the parliamentary republic, wherein the members of the legislature now will be the ones that will elect the head of states, okay, or they go into the electoral college, like they have in Czech Republic. You understand? So that's how the president, the head of state is being elected. Mm. And usually the head of state usually has a fixed term
Of office.
which is a bit longer than that of the parliament.
Okay.
You understand? Now, you want to ask me the merits of it.
I was even going to ask you that, okay, then when we had the parliamentary system of government, was it better than what we have now?
I'll tell you that it was far better. Now, how do I mean? You see, at that time, okay, then we had Abubakar from the MPC. Then, because there was coalition of parties. We have the NCNC, the Nigerian Council and of Nigeria and Cameroon, NCNC, and the MPC. So MPC produced the Prime Minister, which was Abubakar Tafawa, while the NCNC had Azikiwe was the president. You know, NCNC was the party that was formed by, in 1944, formed by formed by Abad Macaulay. Then, let's leave that. Now, as at that time, there was this fusion of regionalism in it. So it makes it easier. So what I'm saying now is that if we are ready and we have to go into parliamentary system, we must be ready to go into regionalism.
Like we had before?
Like we had before in 1960 to 66, before the military, the advent of the military. You understand? Because at that time, we had 3 regions. Because since 1946, during the Richard's Constitution, Arthur Richards created 3 regions, which is the Eastern region, the Western region, and the Northern region. Okay, this went to, up to McPherson Constitution, up to Littleton Constitution, till we got to 59 and 60 when we had independence. Now, during that period, we had 4 regions, so to say. The Northern region, which was headed by Ahmadu Bello. The Eastern region headed by Michael Okpara. The Western region initially by Obafemi Awolowo, later S.L. Akintola, Samuel Aduke Akintola. Then in 1964, before that 66, we now had the Midwestern region, which was headed by Dennis Osadebe. Then you find out that it brought about a healthy rivalry.
In terms of development? In
terms of development. Because at that time, they gave autonomy to the regions. In areas of...
the central?
The central gave autonomy to the regions, which means that the IGR of the regions now, they only give kind of little remittance to the top. So like 70% to them, 30% to the top. That even at the point, some regions were even richer than the top. Okay? Now at that time, say for the Western region, for instance, they allowed them the areas of infrastructure, health, and education. In Western region then, it allowed for free education, it allowed for growth in education. That was about the time that, because at that time, at the University of Ibadan, was about the only the only tertiary institution that was existing in the Western region. When they started the regionalism, we had the University of Ife, which came out from, which is now Obafemi Awolowo University, which came out from University of Ibadan. Then the North saw this and said, we need to buck up. We need to, keep to pace. They now had the Ahmadu Bello University.
Zaria.
Then the East, these things is, it's not a competition. They had UNN. So many roads in the West then, good roads. Because when you have good roads, good transportation, your goods and services, there will be transportation of your products and all that. There will be growth. In the West, then we're making good use of our cocoa, we're making good use of our rubber and all that. So there was growth So if we have to
Go back
to parliamentary system, the question is, are we ready?
When you say are we ready, I'm sorry to cut you short. When you say are we ready, is it in terms of the political atmosphere or the attitude of the players in the political sector?
Okay, now, you see, in a parliamentary system, the majority members in the House, they will be the one that will elect
The Prime
Minister. The Prime Minister now will, by extension, appoint the executive now, okay, into the cabinet, right? And so we have the minority too, who are the official opposition, who keeps the government in check against the dictatorial tendencies. Okay, now look at what we have in our parliament now. The opposition.
The coloration of different political parties.
The coloration of different political parties. The opposition, are they really opposition? An example is this. You have the Labour Party in the House now. Are you really feeling them as the opposition?
Majority of them are even decamping to the ruling party.
That's exactly what I'm saying. It shouldn't be so. During parliamentary system, it shouldn't be so, because that will water down the essence of that kind of democratic dispensation. You understand? That's the one I'm asking. Are we really ready? Two, you see, I said the head of state is usually elected, although even though ceremonial, but they still have a kind of work with which to reduce the workload on the Prime Minister. They work together, kind of. You understand? And they usually remain even when the government is being dissolved, because the government can be dissolved either by the expiration of their own term, or when the House pass the vote of no confidence
on the PM.
On the PM. You understand? If that happens, can that happen in this kind of dispensation? Look at what we have now. Even if the Senate president misbehaves, APC dominates the House.
Because majority will have their way. So, minority will only have their say.
So what can the minority do in such circumstance? Except if the misbehavior is so much that it will embarrass the party. They can now say, okay, go and rest, let's get somebody else. But it seldomly happens. You understand? That's what I'm asking. Are we ready? Because most of the people that are in the parliament now, that are even putting, because this bill now was sponsored by one Wale Raji from Ekpe Federal Constituency. You understand? Most of them were not even born in 1960. Except if they want to be good students of history. They've not practiced it before. So we must have a rethink, and the drafters, the people that want to amend the constitution that to fit into that thing, must be ready too. You understand? That's what I'm asking. Are we really ready? It's good, yes, because it has its own advantages.
Okay.
It's less expensive. It they have what's it called now? It's less expensive. They have less workload on the government, continuity of governance and all that. Yes, but are we really ready for it?
Okay, beyond all the intricacies that you mentioned earlier, I'm just looking at the political maturity of some of these political actors that we have. Do you think all of them can actually work together in a parliamentary system of government wherein the interest of the nation will come first as against the interest of their political party and their personal ambitions like we have now?
I said it earlier, during my discussion. If they are ready, then they must be ready to follow the tenets of the parliamentary system of government. There are no two ways about it. So that we don't just venture into something that will start fumbling and wobbling again. You understand? With this way they are behaving in the chambers now, the BREP and the
Senate.
When the party is in the when you have the party in government and there are so many things to benefit from there, you start switching over. who now corrects the erring party in the house, so that there will be good governance. Do you understand? And I wonder how you want to have for fear of not being pessimistic now. Do you understand? For fear of not being pessimistic now, how do you want to have the minority in the house to check
the majority
in the house, so as to avoid dictatorial tendencies, which is part of the advantages that we have in a parliamentary system of government.
I actually raised that political maturity in the sense that you cited an example of Tafawa Balewa and Zik the other time, and how they were able to work together. And of course, we had a healthy rivalry then.
That was when they brought in, that was when they infused regionalism into it. Because there's no way it will.
Okay, if we are going back now, yes. Are you suggesting that we should infuse that regional
automatically? It cannot be worthwhile if you don't bring in regionalism. I mean, compare the time that we had regionalism in the country. Since 1946, when Arthur Richards introduced it in the country, it went till even 1960 when we became when we were independent and we started parliamentary system of government, copying the UK. If it's not good, they would have jettisoned it. So it goes without saying that they must add it to it. They must practice it. Ojus Okalu some years back, raised it too. Ojus Okalu. I mean, it goes without saying. Because that's the only way you can have, because if we have 6 geopolitical zones, okay? If we have the regions and their premiers, okay? Region A is doing fine with their resources.
You think all these governors will be happy?
They must change to the new. We won't have governors. They will have premiers.
I know.
We will have premiers. Okay, and I can't see this particular region, growing with the resources they have. I will look for my own resources so that will make me grow. And start using it. Because if you don't, it will be glaring to others that look at you. You're just useless. You're not good to your citizens. So you won't have choice, because then your resources are being managed by yourself. You only give, like 30% to the top. Center. Regional autonomy. If that happens, there will be healthy rivalry. And when the regions, depending on how many regions they want to create now, then we had 4. They were all growing. I said an example in area of education, for instance. It was because this one had university free education there. This one to add his own. I have to have a Medubile University. This one to say, I have to have a University of Nsukka, UNA. Things were growing. And before you know it, the country will be better for it. If they don't add regionalism to it, they'll be missing it.
So if indeed we are serious about reducing the cost of governance, then the parliamentary system of government is the way for us to go.
It's the way for us to go if we're really ready to go about it. Because it's less expensive. You have just one house. The president, who is just a ceremonial, the head of state, who is just a ceremonial, what do you want to use the service in it? Virtually like nothing. Okay, we have the prime minister. Okay, and we won't have governors there if they have regionalism. So you can see how it will whittle down how we spend money. Okay, and since the federal government, since the top now will have given the autonomy to the regions now. Okay, because the policies they will be given now, the policies that the regions will be having are policies that will affect
their regions.
As
against the general policy that we have in the
but the federal government, we fit for all policy, which might not really address what happens in this particular region. And again, it will reduce this issue of agitation for IPOB or Biafra, Yoruba Nation,
Nation.
it will reduce it. If it will stop to the barest minimum. Because you have your region, you have your premier. Did you understand? It's like you having your mini nation. So you can see the advantage we have in that. So if they have to go about it, they should please, if they love the nation, go about regionalism.
Okay, beyond the management of resources now, in terms of economic growth and, of course, insecurity like we have now, would it make things better at the regional level?
It will make things better when it comes to the issue of security, too. How do I mean? Yorubas have this saying that it's only you that live in the particular area knows where the nooks and crannies are. You can know where they know where the thieves, the bad people could be. Okay, even before then, they were intending for what's it called now? Indigenous police or something. What's it called now?
State police.
State police. Okay, so everybody know they know what their problems are. They know where what's bringing about the insecurity and all that. They will manage it. You can't leave your own region now and go into other regions to go and to go and do what? To go and do what? So if every region mans its own his own region, okay, they know their problems. So they have a tailored policy to address it. You understand? So that we've had it before. Has it been faulted? If Arthur Richard could create it since 1946 and it went all along till 1960, it still went till 1966 that the military boys came to incursion of the military boy then. If it's not good, like I said, they won't continue to adopt it. So they must not forget it if they want to go, via the even in America, we have kind of regionalism of sort of regionalism in America because the states have their autonomy. Do you understand? And they're faring. Even in the federal system of government, because even in the federal system of government, you can still have regionalism. Yes, you can still have it. An example is America that we have.
But compared to our own here, where we also have states, and then we have the IGP controlling the Commissioner of Police in a particular state, isn't that faulty?
And that is because we are still in a presidential system of government, and the federal government is the one that appoints the IGP. You understand what I'm saying? So it will still be like that. In this case, if they practice regionalism, we wouldn't need any IGP. Because every region will have its own the police. And jointly, when they work together, this one mans his own, this one does his own, this one does his own well, jointly, the nation will be better for it.
Okay, so you have said so much about the parliamentary system of government, how the values it's going to add to the country, and of course the regions in particular. But what are the lapses of the parliamentary system of government?
Well, the lapses of parliamentary system of government, like I can see, like when you say continuity of government now, when a particular government, it either goes, for instance, I can't even see that possible because they say if the prime minister is not behaving, all you just need to do is pass a full vote of no confidence. Yeah. And when they pass the vote of no confidence, the government goes down. Can that be possible?
Can that be possible in Nigeria?
In Nigeria. If I know that...
Because in Senate climes, that's what they do.
That's what they do. So if I say, for instance, say Akpabio is the prime minister, for instance, and the APC will go, Mr. Akpabio, we're asking you to leave, we're passing a vote of no confidence. All the government will go. Would they do it?
Okay, but in terms of lawmaking, would it make things better compared to what we have now in terms of the quality of laws that will be coming out of the House?
Well, if there's every sincerity of purpose, and the drafters now of the Constitution, who will be going about the amendment of that Constitution as amended, they must be ready to work. They must be ready to work in the sense that so many lacunas that we have in the Constitution now must be tackled. Even some things added to it to fit into the new parliamentary system that we're agitating for. Because it goes a long way. In fact, that particular document,
The Constitution?
the Constitution that has to be amended, is what will take charge. Because that is what they will activate. So we cannot afford to miss it. Because if we do, so much money will have gone down the drain. And we can see what the economy is like right now. So they can't afford to miss it. If they know that they want to go, they must do it well. If they can't do it well, they should just leave it.
Leave it as presidential?
Leave it as presidential and infuse regionalism into it.
But the president will still be the president, and the state will still go to the central at the end of the month.
To still collect money.
To still collect money.
You're right. You're right. What I'm saying is that the parliamentary system is less expensive, but if they want to do it, they have to do it right.
Okay, for them to do this, for them to infuse this parliamentary system of government, we'll need to think with the Constitution. Regionalism, yeah, with the Constitution as amended, which is that of 1999. But we have had different guests on this show who have complained that this Constitution is not even a Constitution for the people. Although it started with we, but it is not our Constitution.
That's another kettle of fish, and a different ballgame entirely. Because the person that said that is right. Is right, but to the extent that it's been ratified by the House. So it becomes the ground norm, where other laws get their power, derive the power from. But truly, what should have been done was to see how they can. I don't see how possible that can be. Who would have? Because there would have been, like constitutional conference where different regions will
like
come,
we had during the time of Jonathan,
and sit down and say how you want your regions to be, what are your pains, what are your this and that, which will now be put into the Constitution. Because by saying that we, the people of Nigeria, is a wooden lie. I agree with that person. It's a wooden lie. But there must have been such sitting agreements. I say, okay, we cannot say we, the people of Nigeria. That's the preamble of the Constitution. That's you're saying, right? Yes.
Okay. Also, this amendment that the House of Reps is trying to do now, does it represent the people? I know the people representing us in the two chambers of the National Assembly are representing their constituents. Is that the way we should go, or we should do a referendum like you have cited?
Are they really representing the people?
Were they not elected?
They were elected by the people, but are they representing the people? Most of them are not. I mean, bold to say, most of them are not. Yes, it's the Constitution that they will have your constituency allowance and all that to go and. Some do. With due respect to the late rep in my constituency, Raymond North constituency, I mean the Raymond Federal constituency, formerly led by what's her name again now? Ijaya. That's her nickname. Oriyomi.
Okay.
She was doing well with the constituency allowance that she was being given. But how many are doing that? How many? Even the Senate, they give them, because ordinarily they are the people that are supposed to bring a development to the people from the top. The governors too are supposed to bring development to the people from the top. The local government. We shouldn't be where we are. if they are doing what they are supposed to do with the monies collected. Because there's little to what the federal government can do. There's little to it. So if people keep saying, Tinubu is this, Tinubu is that, hello, are you holding your governors responsible? Are you holding your senators responsible? Are you holding your House of Rep members responsible? Are you holding your local government chairman responsible? If you're not, I mean, stop calling because even now, we're going to understand that what they get now as a location, as even,
is more
than what they were getting. You can't kill the Mr. President. You cannot. If he is releasing what he should be releasing, and the government are confirming the fact that he is releasing what he is releasing to them to take care of it, it's not that, I mean, there should be less. The little to the blame which should be given the president.
Maybe that's one of the reasons why people are actually clamoring for this parliamentary system.
Is it in this situation where you have the governors that would wink in the local government chairman allocation, cornering them, and that only comes possible because most of the governors are the people that appoint the local government chairman.
Appoint or elect?
After appointment, yes.
Okay, we're going to have another election in 2027, and of course, the political class are already gearing up for this election. If the House is able to perfect this document of this parliamentary system of government with what they are doing with the Constitution, is it visible for us to have a parliamentary system of government come 2027?
We are 2025.
Yeah.
Nothing is impossible if we're ready to do it. If we are focused and we're ready to do it, nothing is impossible. Because the reason why I'm saying is that the concern does not say you must have 2 terms. By then, the 1 term of everybody will have ended. Why can't we pick up the new dispensation if you are ready? But the question is, I asked this question from the beginning, are we ready?
Hey, they're not ready. They will not be tinkering with the Constitution.
If we are ready, then it's possible. It's possible. This is 2025, beginning of 2025. But these members, but for them to even raise it, like for Wale Raji to raise it, for the likes of Kingsley Chinda and the 59 other members of the House of Reps to raise it, okay, I think there is some kind of some serious. I want to assume, for fear I don't want you to be pessimistic now, that they are ready.
60 out of 360.
It will start from somewhere. I was told now that the bill has passed the second reading.
Yeah.
You understand? So it's possible if they are ready.
Okay, but as Nigerians now, what role can we play in ensuring that this particular bill sails through at the end of the day? What kind of engagement should we be having with our lawmakers? Because, like you rightly cited, it's far better than the presidential system of government, which is more expensive because you're going to have governors, Mr. President, at the center of it all, dishing out donuts to the governors in terms of allocation. So what kind of engagement should people and Nigerians be having with their representative so that this parliamentary system of government will become part of our constitution at the end of the day?
For instance, it has started, from you and I.
Educating Nigerians now.
Yes. I'm sure this program is far-reaching, and there's so many people who would have, garnered 1 or 2 reasons why it's good, if they have good intentions in carrying it out. There are rep members, there are senators and all that. When we know how to reach them. Tell them the reason why this is good. If you truly have the people, the interest of the people at heart. You understand? At heart. You start engaging them, telling them the reason why this has to happen. But not forgetting the fact that they must add regionalism to it. If they really want to be serious about it, they must add regionalism to it when it's being practiced.
Well, how many regions you don't know now?
How many regions?
Or we should have it the way we had it then.
I think it's better because it carried everything. Because you can see that the northern region started from 1960 to 66. The western region started from 1960 to 66. The eastern region started from 1960 to 66. It was in 1964 that they created the Midwestern region. And I'm yet to see anybody who has faulted that regionalism till date. If it's not good, you will have heard about it, you will have read about it. I've not read anything about it that faults regionalism. Since it was created by Arthur Richards in 1946.
Okay, before we let you go this morning, the quality of governance and development that we had then, wasn't that because of the quality of leaders that we had? They were interested in the development of the country, their regions, and of course they added value to the people that they were governing then. When you look at the crop of politicians that we have today, is there any basis of comparison?
Don't let me shed tears here, because you're hitting the part of me that you shouldn't hit. You're very correct. Is it how the likes of Amadou Bello are thinking? How the likes of Tafawa were thinking? How the likes of Awolowo was thinking? How the likes of Nnamdi Azikiwe was thinking? They were not all about themselves. They were selfless. So the monies that they were making then, they were concerned about how their regions will grow. For instance, I'm a beneficiary of free education. So many of the members in the parliament today, governors, are beneficiaries of free education. So why can't they? Why can't they? If they truly have the interest of the people at heart. You understand? Because it's only foolish of any politician to start amassing wealth that are meant for the people, that are meant for the growth of your area. To do what? You will end up squandering them. You will end up squandering the money. Because it comes to you like a free money. You understand? That explains why such things should be looked into when they want to amend the constitution. So the drafters must sit tight. If they can't totally eradicate it, I think it will be brought to the barest minimum. Not that we didn't have corrupt leaders then. At least we had the likes of our flamboyant Minister of Finance then. I'm sorry, what is his name again? I forgot his name now. From the Western region. The minister then. He was all over the place with his flowing gowns, using money like he prints money in his house. But they were not much.
Compared to what we have
Compared to what we have now. I think God is working in the interest of the country. That explains why we're thinking about
going back to the parliamentary system.
Yes. It's just that 60 out of 300, it starts from somewhere. Why didn't this happen, in the past? Since we started, new democracies in 1999, why didn't that happen? I think God is looking down on. God is looking into the problems of Nigeria.
All right, we'll see how everything will go at the end of the day. The call for parliamentary system of government, of course, it has killed second reading in the House of Representatives. And Kende Abudu here, a lawyer, is here saying that if indeed we want to grow and develop as fast as we should be developing, then the parliamentary system of government is the way for us to go compared to the presidential system which we practice presently. And of course, it's quite expensive, like he had said here. So he has suggested that the lawmakers should actually infuse a regional kind of government into that parliamentary system of government while amending the constitution. But we'll see how it goes at the end of the day. We must thank you very much, Kende Abudu, lawyer and principal partner, Reliance Partners, for coming on the conversation this morning.
Thank you for having me. Thank you very much.
All right, so we'll go on a very short break. When we come back, Adi Bimpe will be taking you to our conversation after the break.
The views expressed on this program do not represent that of the producer, management of Lagos Television, or the Lagos State Government. They remain the perspectives of those expressing them. Thank you for staying with Lagos Television.